Welcome to Boo Crew Case Files. I'm your host, Bree Schroeder. This is part 2 of the return to St. Ignatius Hospital with my friend Vel. If you didn't catch part 1, here's a peek at that episode. Hey, I was thinking about going to St. Ignatius, and last time we went, it seemed like a blast. How about we go again?
Like the hospital?
Yeah, the one in Colfax.
I don't think I want to go there again.
I just bought us tickets.
Ugh,
It's a done deal.
fine, whatever.
You're
We'll
coming with
go.
me. Yeah. Pack your bags. We're going to Colfax. We're going to go ahead and see St. Ignatius.
I'll go, but I've got a story for you.
For everybody that doesn't know me, I'm more of on the skeptic side of this kind of stuff. I've never really believed in, ghosts or things like that.
So we are at St. Ignatius Hospital in room 210.
You mentioned earlier when you were explaining this room to me, like people like feel ill or something like that it doesn't want people ill.
Yeah, so according to Val, when she does tours, they brought the phasma box up and it has said, "Get out."
That is interesting. But the reason I brought that up or asked is because as soon as we walked in this room, it could be just because it's warm throughout this place.
Yeah.
Everywhere, but when we walked in here, like I felt a certain particular like fatigue.
Did you?
Like my eye, like the back of my eyes, like feel tired.
Is something affecting Val?
Emily, definitely.
That's what I was thinking was what you said, Emily.
Yeah.
But could have been definitely.
Yeah.
Do you not like people in this room?
I've had enough of this room.
You really have?
Yeah, I've had enough of this room.
Why?
I just don't feel comfortable anymore.
You don't?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Vel's uncomfortable. I never thought you would say that to me, though, honestly.
Literally, I'm getting more and more uncomfortable. My right arm is feeling very cold air right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's pretty surprising because it is hotter than hell.
Yeah, it's very hot in here. Yeah, I've had enough of this room.
I still ask myself, what was in room 210? Who or what was making Vel uncomfortable? And if you heard in that sneak peek, I asked if something was affecting him. The response was yes. Later, both Vel and I hear what sounds like definitely or Emily. As Vel and I are talking about this, I hear a male voice say, "He can hear us," or "He heard us." This was not heard as we were shutting the equipment down to leave room 210. Now it's time to hear Vel's second spooky experience at St. Ignatius Hospital. All right. Vel and I are back. We have relocated from the second floor to the first floor. We are now inside the kitchen here at St. Ignatius Hospital. Vel, I think there's been 1 or 2 times that you've been here in the kitchen. Sister Gabriella was known to be the cook here at St. Ignatius. It is kind of late. I could use a snack. I don't know about you. I'm kind of hungry. Sister Gabriella, can you just get us like a ding dong or something? Toast.
Would you know what a ding dong is?
I mean, I don't know how long. Ding dongs were around for a long time. Twinkie.
Yeah.
Can I have a cupcake?
I don't know, like, I feel like dingoes. Dingo ate your baby. I feel like ding dongs are like newer. I feel like
Could be.
Somebody from when was like 70 plus years ago would know what a ding dong is.
Fair enough.
Or they would call it something completely different.
That could be the case. Maybe there's cookies. I could use a chocolate chip cookie right now, Sister Gabriella. What are you looking at?
Well, so to backtrack a little bit, I was no longer uncomfortable when we relocated from
room 210?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, oh man, that was eerie. I did not like that.
Yeah.
I'm also kind of feeling weird now because
you keep looking at your feet.
Yeah, it felt like someone was standing on my left foot.
Like full on standing, or just like stepped on you?
Yeah, see, like I got my footprint on there
Yeah.
now from just like walking in here, and I just touched it, but
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I don't. It felt weird. Like, I mean, they're canvas shoes, right?
Sure. I mean, that was you that just put the footprint
Well,
on
yeah.
there.
I mean, they're canvas shoes, right? And like, I mean, the material is very thin, and I definitely
I mean, if you felt something step on you,
some touch my foot. Like it wasn't like hard, but it was like right there, and it felt like
you just keep messing up your shoes.
I know. We gotta get new ones anyway. This place is
Dirty. Yeah.
dirty, yeah.
It's definitely dirty.
But that was weird.
That was strange.
That was.
So
Again, still skeptic.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
whatever.
totally understand. I appreciate the skeptic mind. I mean, I try to remain open to looking for any way to debunk what's happened because I don't want to be that person who just put out every little tidbit as paranormal. But I would say that this place is haunted. I mean, what would you say after being here 3 times? I've been here a million, but
I would say there's some things that haven't been explained,
yeah.
at least yet.
Right. Do you really think there's a way to explain some of that? Like the apparition, the full body, the shadow person, the EVPs?
I don't know about EVPs.
Yeah.
Or like the equipment stuff, the voices and stuff like that. Like to me, I that's almost like a for your benefit app type thing. That's how I see it, right?
So I've had
the things that I can't explain are the video of
yeah.
you know, like there's just not enough evidence either way. Like it's certainly interesting. You know, it's certainly something to note and you know consider and you know investigate further. Like I would like to you know see more equipment in that particular area or hang out there more. Just spend some time, see like I don't know, feel it out. You know, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, for me, like it's a feel it like in that room.
Yeah.
Right. Like I
gave
told
you
you,
the
like I'm not
heebie-jeebies.
tired. Like I don't feel that fatigue anymore. Like I feel completely fine. I feel completely normal.
So would you say that maybe something was trying to manipulate you?
Well, maybe. And see, like as soon as you said that, like the hair on my neck stood up because what we're about to talk about.
Yeah.
But this, the kitchen here has always been a creepy place for me. Like I don't feel weird or anything like that, but I've been in here alone.
Yeah.
Both times I was in here by myself while everybody else was away, and I was like digging around, like trying to figure out like kind of what's over there. And,
the dining room was over there.
Yeah, like over there, I felt a little weird. In the whatever that is, where I can see the heater or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was just in here by myself. I mean, I wouldn't feel weird in this hospital just walking around by myself, period. But being down here in this room by myself, like snooping around over there trying to figure out like
Somebody wants us to listen to music.
right? I felt a little off, and like I was like, all right, time to go find Katie and Sarah.
I have had digital recorders set down, just rolling with nobody around, and captured what sounded like nurse and patient conversation.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Down here.
Actually, on like the 3rd and 2nd floor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, like I remember like snooping around back here.
Yeah.
And just
Yeah, it sounds
wanting
like a
to
storage
not be
pantry.
back here by myself anymore. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely like a freezer, like a walk-in fridge freezer type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It smells weird over here. It smells too musty for me. I don't think I'm gonna be breathing that stuff in.
Well, Belle, you have an interesting story of your own to share that we've kind of held off on, but I feel like now's the time, my friend.
Yeah. So, you know, as we talked about earlier, you know, the first time we were here, like I said, like for me, like it was whatever, it's like an empty building, right?
And it was only a couple hours that we were here.
Yeah.
With a bunch of other folks.
Yeah, you know, let's go look at it. Let's go check it out. I love, you know, seeing abandoned places. I love learning about history. And that's why I actually came, not because
I'm interested in the ghosts.
Yeah, exactly.
So now the truth comes out.
Now, right?
He just wanted to explore people. He didn't want to actually hang out with his best friend. Got it.
Yes. Well, I mean,
Same.
it's a win-win, right?
It's a twofer.
Hang out with your best buddy and explore an empty place. like I'm just appreciating, like I'm looking around right now, I'm just appreciating all the architecture of this building.
It's breathtaking when you actually take and absorb it and actually enjoy it for what it's worth.
Yeah, like this lighting up here, the way that these windows are.
It's incredible in the daylight.
Yeah, I bet. I don't think I've seen this place down here in the daylight.
I don't think you have.
But anyway, I guess, so the second time we were here was obviously the time we recorded those things that, you consider proof of extraterrestrial.
Not ET stuff.
Casper.
No.
Casper.
I consider it unexplained events. I mean, it's definitely something that I can't say for certain. I just know the facts are what they are, which is there were 3 people on that floor and the rest of the group was downstairs. And it's just not possible that would be a human.
Yeah. And I mean, I was one of the 3 people, right? And I know where the other 2 were. They were right beside me. Right. So again, like, to me, just something that hasn't been explained yet, or just not enough evidence to make a decision either way.
Yeah. It's compelling.
Yeah. But so after that second visit, what was weird was for, I guess, where did I start? For about 2 weeks, maybe a little bit longer. I mean, I waited. I didn't tell you about this like immediately. You know, I told you about this like months and months later.
I actually had to pry it from you, I think.
Yeah.
Because you were acting a little sketch pad.
And what was weird was, and I've never experienced it or felt it, but I would imagine it is what like that spidey sense is that women will tell you about, like when they particularly feel watched.
Okay.
That's kind of like, if I had to put that into a feeling, like you hear that in like the murder shows, and usually it comes from a woman. Like I could feel like I was being watched. I could feel a presence, and it's usually a creeper creeping in their yard, looking in the window or something. If I could put that feeling to this, it would be that specific thing.
Okay.
That's kind of just how it started with, like the first few days. Like I just felt off, and I didn't really think anything of it, and it turned more into just feeling a presence. Whether I don't know, like I've never had like that sort of experience in my life before, where I could just feel a person, like a live living person in the same room, just kind of not almost knowing that they're there, right? But you just kind of can tell that somebody else is in the room. So that's what it felt like. And over the course of a week, it just got more and more stronger, I guess, more prevalent. Like you could feel its presence, more and more, and to the point where like I couldn't ignore it anymore, and I had to like think about it. So I'm like, well, this
the
is
elephant in the room.
Yes, the elephant in the room. Like, and I remember distinctly one night in my room, trying to go to sleep, and my hair was starting to stand up on my arms and my neck, and I could definitely tell that I wasn't alone. Whether it was a presence, whether it was Casper, an entity or whatever, but I could feel like it wanted to, and we talked about this earlier, I could almost feel like whatever it was trying to be friendly. It wanted a companion, and wanted to be friends, and I was very cautious about the feeling of sort of being open to it, or like sort of being closed off to it and rejecting it, just because I started to like think back and like, why is this happening? And like, oh my God, we were at the hospital. And then I kind of put 2 and 2 together, and it fit. It made sense.
Right.
So
I think you also shared with me too that you felt like at one point that there was something in your back seat when you were driving.
Yes. Oh my God, I completely forgot about that. Yeah.
I remember that so vividly, because I remember thinking, holy shnikes, what is he talking about?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, like something was, like there was a person or something in the back of my car. Yeah, that's right. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that gave me the chills.
Well, I mean, let's be honest about that night. So we were locked inside St. Ignatius for 5 hours. By the time we came out, there was a snowstorm. because I remember it just randomly started snowing. There was potential snow that day, but then we had to fight to get out of here because there was also a football game in Pullman, or maybe it was in Moscow, but people were trying to get out as well. So it was quite crazy trying to get out of here. But when we were locked inside, I can remember being like on the first floor and hearing you all the way up on the fifth floor and going, this isn't going to go well. So all the audio had you everywhere through it. It was one of your finer moments, let's say.
You were very upset with me.
I was very upset with you, yes, but I think obvious reasons, because there were a lot of paying people for it. But the point alone is, do you think with how you were behaving that maybe it latched onto you in the sense of, hey, there's a cool guy that I could hang around with? Or do you think it was like, hey, let's mess with him?
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
Like, was it, like earlier I said, was this a ghost trying to be cute and funny?
Right.
And I just don't understand it because I don't speak ghosts. I don't speak Casper. Maybe that's possible. Like, again, it's not something I can explain, and there's not enough evidence either way.
Right.
It's just, again, very peculiar. Now, if I leave here again and I feel exactly like the same way,
You're never coming back.
I'm probably not going to come back here. Like I told you earlier, I've dodged you a couple of times on coming back here because I was, not feeling up for it.
I can't blame you on that.
Soon.
I mean, it was definitely a pretty compelling moment for you, I think.
Yeah.
And how long did it last before it just kind of dissipated?
I want to say it was like 2 weeks, but thinking back on it, it's probably more like 3 or 4 weeks. Before like gradually started going away.
And did you say anything to it, or did it just go?
No, the strongest I felt it was, when I was saying I was, by myself in my room, and I remember like I was trying to go to sleep, and I could feel it, like, and it wasn't like in one particular place. Like I would just look around and like
Feel like it was there.
feel like it was there, like close but not too close, but far enough but not too far away. Like it was in the room. It was it felt like it was just like, hey, I'm here. If you want me to come closer, I'll come closer. If you don't, I'll just be right here. Like I felt like I had that kind of control. But and I was closed off to it. Like I didn't want it to come any closer, but I was curious enough, to not push it away, because I was just kind of playing it safe. Like what if this is real, and it is something sinister that's trying to trick me into being friends with it, like in the movies.
Right.
And then I let it in, and now it's like fucking up my whole life.
Would you really be friends though with Casper? I mean, let's be real. You don't speak ghost, you said.
Oh yeah, maybe, I don't know. Maybe I would be friends with Casper. Who knows?
I mean, it's a super interesting story, and I know that this place has not scared you in a sense, but made you a little apprehensive to return.
Yes, absolutely. I'm, before, like I said, when I came here first, it had nothing to do with, thinking about this place. Hunter, just learning and exploring and seeing it. And then, the second time around, and now coming back here for a third time,
Yeah.
I'm definitely more like, okay, there might be something to this,
Right.
but I'm not convinced, right? Like, again, with a lot of this stuff, there's not enough evidence for me to make a educated decision on,
Right.
Either way. But, back to the Casper that was following me around,
Yeah.
we'll call it for the sake of the conversation. When we were talking about it on the way up here, and I was, reflecting back on it, I think it was whatever it was, I feel like it didn't have bad intentions. It was genuine, and I feel bad almost for turning it away. Like almost like a kid, like the new kid at school was asking, "Hey, like, do you want to be friends with me?" And I said politely, "No."
Sure.
Like that's kind of like I feel like I rejected a person almost.
It's an interesting experience to have, I'm sure. I mean, I've never felt anything dark or sinister in this place, in all the time that I've been coming down here. I know that there are some others that have felt differently or have said different things, but in my heart of hearts, I don't think that there's anything harmful here. I think that what remains is curiosity. I am quite frightened of the nuns' quarters, I will be honest. I told you that I was scratched at the bottom of the stairs.
Oh, that's right.
We did an audio session about Mother Joseph there, and in communicating and listening back to it, I hear several different things within it that tells me that it's trying to scare me and wants me to leave. And it's quite alarming after the fact to hear those things.
Yeah, I bet. It's interesting, that you talk about that. As I remember back on, being the last time, being here for that second time, and talking about like different vibes or feelings in different room, like that room we were in and left, come down here, and I said I was done with this room. Definitely felt weird. I did not like it. I kind of got a same vibe from that room, like you feel when you walk up into the nun quarters, what Bree was talking about. It's kind of a tight area. It's smaller.
It's real narrow stairs going up.
Yeah, and that might be something to do with it. But when you go up there, at least when I go up there, I didn't feel like I was in this hospital anymore.
Yeah.
It did not feel like I was rummaging or going through an empty abandoned building. It felt like I was welcomed into somebody's home.
Yeah.
Like as if I was, going to sit down and have a conversation with someone at their coffee table, like a stranger I had just met. It felt completely different. I wasn't spooked out.
Yeah.
Just, it didn't feel like the rest of this place.
To me, it felt like I was unwelcome. Like I was in somebody else's space and I should have asked to be there. Wow. And if I was there, I was not welcome.
Were you by yourself?
I was with Charles the last time we were here. Here's that photo of the scratch.
Oh, wow.
You see it? It's in the cross. It's like a scratch of a cross on my wrist.
Yeah, that's a T or a cross.
I didn't scratch myself. I had asked about Mother Superior or Sister Superior, and it scares me every time I say that. But I had my arm out like this, and the next thing I know, I just felt an immediate burn. And the thought was, and it was Trina and myself, and then Charles and his wife Kelly were with us. And at the time, I didn't think much of it. I just kind of yanked my arm back. But we thought maybe in that time, they would have snatched you by your wrists, And so the possibility of that was kind of what we were thinking. But is it paranormal? I mean, I don't know for certain, but I can definitely say I did not scratch myself.
Is it possible?
Did I scratch myself?
Yeah.
I had my hands like this.
Well, not right in that moment, right? Like, you're walking in, this place is very old, there's gonna be rough surfaces that are gonna irritate your skin, right? So is it possible that you brushed, up against something and then, it took a little bit of time for your skin to get irritated?
It could be, but I had a long sleeve shirt on that day.
Okay.
So, I mean.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Sure. I can definitely see, how you
it just
get to that conclusion.
Raises the question of, is it or isn't it?
I want to touch that shovel, but I don't want to disturb like this tile stuff. It looks very
Why do you want to touch it?
asbestos-y.
Yeah, don't touch it. You'll need more sanitizer.
Right?
Probably the rest of the bottle.
I want to go through stuff, I want to open doors, and I really want to go down into the morgue again. I wish we could.
I know.
That
would be
was
awesome.
That elevator,
Yeah.
Didn't someone kill themselves down there? Or is that a legend?
So no, there's a former resident that thought that he still lived here after it had been closed down and decommissioned, and he went up to the floor that he thought was his floor still, and he ended up going into the elevator, not realizing, and fell to the bottom and killed himself.
That's right.
Died, yeah.
Yeah, it was an accident.
Yeah, it was a complete accident.
It wasn't suicide.
And I think
that's unfortunate.
It is. I think from what I understand, it took a few days for them to find his body because it was vacant. Nobody was up here.
Scary.
It's sad.
I'm really glad that they're preserving this place and fixing the roof, because it is it's kind of a plain building, but when you actually come inside, and you look at some of the architecture in the way that this place was designed, you really kind of appreciate it, especially the glass room with all the windows.
Yeah.
What is that room? What is that for?
The sunroom?
It's the sunroom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so the other piece was this place was built, 1892, 1893. Mm-hmm. And so at the time, it was a necessity to have medical aid here on the Palouse and in Whitman County. And through that, then there was the Spanish flu and pneumonia and tuberculosis. Mm-hmm. But those sunrooms once the renovations took place, and they ended up building more in 1910 or 1912. That's when tuberculosis was pretty big. And so the sunrooms were the idea of, giving them oxygen and letting them breathe so that tuberculosis could work its way out. So that's a lot of the sunroom action, I believe. And we've had some interesting experiences up in there. Not long ago, had told the story of Goosey, and actually had some communication to Goosey's story.
Goosey? What's a cute name?
Goosey is the eccentric character that is rumored to have buried a treasure somewhere within Whitman County.
What kind of treasure?
That we don't know for certain. Might have been gold, might have been cash.
Are you going to also be into treasure hunting soon?
We could. We could do a Boo Crew treasure hunt.
That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, you
I'd
never
love to
know
go
where it
treasure
could take
hunt.
us. We were here the last time recording. Somebody tried to break into the nursing school, and right after we got done recording, you heard this car alarm, and Charles and I jumped up freaking out. Quite interesting.
Yeah, I'd love to also see the separate building. I tried. You couldn't get in last time we were here with...
Yeah. I highly encourage you to listen to the training school Buku case file episode.
I will, yeah.
Because,
I didn't know you had one until you told me. But
yeah,
I definitely will.
Super interesting, some of the responses and communication up in there.
Do you want to go explore?
We can, yeah. We'll go ahead and conclude this episode of Buku Case Files. I do want to thank Velimir for being here and being brave enough to come back after about 4 years.
So brave.
So brave. Val, how do you feel like this has gone for us?
About as the same as I think I expected. Like I don't feel weird, not scared.
Up in 210, you were freaking out a little bit.
That was.
That's beside.
Yeah, that was an interesting moment. I was definitely not comfortable in that room anymore, and I just felt like I needed to get out.
Well, can I have you co-host with me again in the future?
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent.
I'd love to.
I look forward to it.
I'd love to do whatever with you again. So.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for tagging along.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. What's up?
I just am curious. We went down to St. Ignatius. You shared that incredible story as far as what happened to you. It's been a little while. How's everything been going?
Normal. I haven't really thought about it since.
So no issues since you came home? Nothing followed you or anything? Okay, all right.
No. Didn't, none of the weird stuff from last time, which was so bizarre,
Right. I know I ask you often, but would we go again?
I would go again.
Okay, all right.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe. It's changed. The first time, remember, there's stuff still everywhere. It's cleaned up a lot. It feels a little more sterile now than it did before. The creepy factor is gone.
Yeah, I was gonna say the creep factor is gone.
Yeah, okay. I don't think creepy is the right word. I think eerie.
Okay.
Is more like it.
Yeah.
Just strange and seeing all the stuff there.
Well, and some of them being relics like they were at the time, or just
Mm-hmm.
being remnants of those when they lived there or when they were cleaning up the hospital itself and had the filing cabinets and whatnot. I definitely know we talked about that, even with Val when we were down there about just how much they've done to clean up. And also when we were there, they were doing the restoration and getting the floors shored up. So, well, thank you so much for going.
Yeah, of course. It was great.
Yeah.
I had a great time. Thanks for inviting me. Thanks for making me go. I'm glad I went.
Want to check out St. Ignatius for yourself? Tickets are available for tours at www.colfaxhauntedhospital.com. Schedule your tour now.